you guys, welcome to a new episode of Food and a Single Guy with me, your very own AMARU. Now this episode of Food and a Single Guy is a requested one and I'll tell you all about it in a minute or two, so stay put. On this episode of Food and a Single Guy, I am going to show you how I make my chop suey as per the recipe of a friend of mine. He gave me this recipe many years ago and he was bragging about it. Oh, this is the best recipe for chop suey ever. And I'm like, oh yeah, right. And he never lied. He never lied. He is from the mainland of China. He is not a Chinese person from my country. So this is not the way that we in my country would make chop suey. I don't think so. But he is from the mainland of China and he told me, he said, listen, this is the way my family has been making chop suey for centuries, and if you cook it this way, you are going to love your chop suey every time. I'm gonna list all the ingredients for you in the information box below the video as per usual, and now I'm gonna get to the story of this requested video. Many of you may know, and I've shared this many times, that I've spent some of my youth growing up in the Caribbean, and my mother at the time had a best friend. She was married and her husband had a couple of sisters. One of these sisters was named Esther, and Esther is also here on YouTube, and she is the one who actually requested that I show her how to make chop suey. So here we are, Esther. I hope you like it. Now let me say this to you. When you watch my video, don't panic, don't be alarmed when you notice that my sauce turned out to be a little darker. I am using a rather dark soy sauce, but if you want to use a lighter soy sauce, go right ahead. You may also notice that when you purchase your chop suey at a Chinese restaurant, the sauce is somewhat white in color. I'm not sure if they're using soy sauce to make the marinade for the vegetables. I'm not sure, but my friend told me that I have to use some soy sauce. So hence, once again, all the ingredients will be posted in the video description box below the video. So without further ado, let us chop suey. Okay, you guys, so these are the ingredients for our delicious chop suey. We're going to use some cornstarch, some baking soda, some salted soy sauce, some chicken powder, some white pepper, some oyster sauce, some Shao Xing cooking wine, some sesame oil, a roughly chopped onion, and a couple of cloves of minced garlic. Now, as far as our vegetables are concerned, I will be using these fleshy mushrooms, and I will be cutting them into thin strips. I will also be using these shiitake mushrooms. I will also be cutting those into thin strips. I will use a big carrot. Yes, I will also be using this Choy Sum, and this is what it looks like. Very much related to your collard greens, right? And we're also going to be adding some bean sprouts, and this is what they look like. And a lot of people like to use the bean sprouts as is, but baby, let me tell you, you need to clean your bean sprouts. You see this root right here? You need to get rid of that, okay? All right, and let us not forget the chicken, which I will be washing with some lemon juice. You know how we do things over here. I will then cut the chicken into thin strips. I will then season the chicken and allow it to marinate for about a couple of minutes. So let us continue. Okay, you guys, so now I'm gonna soak my chicken breast in a basin of water with some lemon juice, just like so. We're gonna give it a bit of a stir. And for those that are new to my channel, this is the way we clean chicken in my country, or pork or beef for that matter. I always tell you, meat goes from one hand to the next, and you don't want to put something in your body that is not clean, okay? So that is why we clean the chicken or the meats this way, because the lemon juice gets rid of smells and, you know, other nasty stuff. So we're going to allow this to sit for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to rinse it. So next we're going to rinse the chicken, and then we're going to allow it to drain before cutting it into nice thin strips. Okay, you guys, so next what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour 2 teaspoons of baking soda onto the chicken, just like so. I'm going to give that a quick stir, just like this. Nothing too fancy. Here we go. And I'm gonna allow this to sit for about 20 minutes. And in the meantime, you can go ahead and chop up your vegetables. What I have right here is my roughly chopped Choy Sum. Over here, I have my shiitake mushrooms. And over there, I have the other mushrooms. And then over here on my plate, I have my sliced carrots. I have my roughly chopped onion. I have my minced garlic. I have my bean sprouts. And what I have here, last but not least, the stems of the Choy Sum. And if the stems are too thick, you can always slice them in half. Okay, that is going to speed up the cooking process. Okay, you guys, so next we're going to make the marinade for the vegetables. To my bowl, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. To that, I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of salted soy sauce. And you want to give this a quick stir. Next, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of oyster sauce. There we go. To that, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of the Shao Xing cooking wine. And of course, we're going to give it another stir. Next, we're going to add a teaspoon of sesame oil and 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. We're going to give this a quick stir yet again. And lastly, we're going to add a little bit of water. So now you're ready to start putting together your delicious chop suey. Well, before we move on to the cooking, we still have the matter of the chicken. It's been about 20 minutes, so now we have to rinse the chicken. And the baking soda is going to help tenderize the chicken. There we go. This is looking good. So next we're going to allow this to drain and then we're going to move on to the cooking. Okay, you guys, so now I'm going to turn on my cooker hood. It's going to make a lot of noise. Bear with me. And to my wok, I'm going to add a little bit of vegetable oil. Like so. And next I'm going to add my onions. And we're going to allow the onions to take on some color. Next I'm going to add my minced garlic. And we're going to give that a good stir. Next we're going to add the sliced carrots. Now, some people like to blanch their carrots. If that's what you want to do, go right ahead. So after about a minute, we're going to add the chicken. And we're going to give this a good stir. And make sure to stir fry this continuously. Because as soon as your chicken is seared, you're going to add the marinade. There we go. We're gonna give that a quick stir yet again. You guessed it. And mine looks a little dark. That is because of the soy sauce that I'm using. But if you're using a lighter soy sauce, of course, your chop suey is going to look a little lighter. But the taste is going to be out of this world. So next we're going to add the stems of the Choy Sum. And the mushrooms. So after about a couple of minutes, we're going to add the bean sprouts. And last but definitely not least, we're going to add the roughly chopped Choy Sum. And you don't want to overcook the bean sprouts and the Choy Sum. They take about a minute or two at the very max to cook. We're simply going to add a drizzle of chicken powder to our dish. And we're gonna give it a good stir. And doesn't that look gorgeous, you guys? Oh, but it does. And it smells delicious too. Now let me go ahead and plate this feast and bring you the final presentation, because that's what it's all about. And there you have it, the final presentation of AMARU's chop suey, traditionally served with a bowl of white rice. Baby, let me tell you, it was delicious. Now, if you decide to try this version of chop suey, I guarantee you that you're going to love it because it's simply delicious. All right? Let me know how it turned out if you do. Now, I'm going to take this time to thank you for watching yet another one of my videos here on the YT. I really do appreciate it. Do be well, take care, happy cooking, happy eating. Don't add crazy to the craziness. And I will see you when I see you. Have a good rest of your weekend, you guys. And until we meet again, bye.